All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to a Wrestling with TMossBoss video. And in today's video, I wanted to talk on this tweet. And it reads out: The Undertaker shares he still loves Batista and Mick Foley amidst political differences. I don't care what your politics are, you're wrong, but I still love you. So yeah, for those that don't know, the Undertaker, he is a Trump supporter. And Batista and Mick Foley, they are not. And I think we all know that they have some history, WWE, like wrestling wise, like yeah, they got some history with them. But I would imagine that outside of that, they are good friends. So the thing is this though, and I think that's what Undertaker needs to understand is that the person that you support, he's not really a good person, and I know that there's gonna be some Trump supporters where they're gonna see this video and they're gonna be like, oh, all these other people, they did this and they did that. Yeah, but when you look at the thing is, throughout my years of paying attention to politics, presidents, even freaking class presidents that I went to school with, I have never seen this much controversy with a president before. Never. And for the longest, I thought that, yeah, George Bush, he's probably going to go down in history as being the most, in my opinion, the most controversial president, George Bush Jr. But when Trump got in office, bro, it was one of those things where I'm like, I don't think it can get no worse than this. Like, I really think a Republican, like I feel like the only way that it could get worse is if, like, yeah, let's say another Republican candidate had became president and then they announced that World War III is starting today. People are getting drafted, like we were going to war, like you might get stationed at this place, you might get like, I feel like that would be the only way that somebody can do worse than Trump. But I would have to say Trump is the worst president of all time. Like I can't go back to, like all the way, hundreds of years ago, hundreds years ago. But for now, for what we're going through now, yeah, no, Trump, he is definitely the worst president of all time, like, or at least of our time. Let me just correct myself, because there were some presidents back then where I can't really speak of, and I really don't know that much history about them. But of our time, yeah, you can't say anything about, he ain't got nothing on Joe Biden, he ain't got nothing on Barack Obama, even candidates that was trying to run for president, Kamala Harris. Who else? Bernie Sanders. Like, no, Trump, he got everybody beat. So when you look at the amount of controversy that he's behind, and I don't know, I guess maybe the Undertaker, he's like, hey, I've lived around controversy. Like, maybe there might be something with his personal life that he doesn't really talk on, to where I guess when he sees somebody like Trump, he's like, hey, it's maybe he's seen, the Undertaker has seen worse, so, but he has to understand, where Batista and Mick Foley come from out of all of this. When they're seeing people that they like, I guess, like supporters of theirs, let's just use that as an example. When you're seeing supporters, when your supporters being snatched away from their families, or family members being snatched away from them, how do you think that that's gonna make people like Batista and Mick Foley feel? So I get, hey, look, at the end of the day, like, there's people that I know that voted for Trump, and I'm like, man, that's unfortunate, and I'm sorry that you felt like you needed to vote for him, or you need to be a supporter and stuff of his. But I mean, I don't know, like, you guys sit down and think about it. There's probably a lot of people that we're surrounded by, whether it's our friends or neighbors, celebrities that we're a fan of, where, yeah, they most likely voted for Trump too. I mean, obviously, he's the president, so somebody had to have voted for him. But yeah, I just gotten to a point now where I'm like, hey, people want to show their support towards Trump. Maybe they're seeing something that we're not seeing, but at the end of the day, we're gonna see the controversy. We're gonna see the negativity. We're gonna see people on the opposite end of being a Trump supporter and Trump supporters being killed. And it's like, bruh, I just feel like that there's a lot of people in this world where they definitely, if Trump wouldn't have been in office, I feel like a lot of people's lives would be different, but in a positive way and stuff. So, but yeah, when you got people like him in office, and I think that's what Batista and Mick Foley is seeing. It's like, he's not good for office, so that's why I'm like, I just don't know what the Undertaker, what he sees in him. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like, you can't be vague about it. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I agree with his political views. Okay, well, what is it that you agree with? What is it that you support? What is it? But yeah, it's like you just see a lot of times like where they want, it's like they're scratching at trying to find the positivity with Trump. And I'm like, you can't find, I guess, like and I feel like that's what it is that they're trying to look for. You're trying to look for a cold glass of water in the middle of a volcano. Like it's not possible, bruh. Like you can't find nothing good with somebody that literally, I feel like if you change the letters around in the word evil somehow, some way, we're gonna get Donald Trump. Like it's one of those things people need to understand. Like you have to, just like how I guess you want people to understand why you support Trump, you have to understand why somebody doesn't support Trump. It doesn't require no argument. It doesn't require no, oh, well, I'm right and you're wrong, or it's no. It's one of those things where it's like, accept that we don't support Trump, move on with your lives. I guess that's talking to a Trump supporter, that feels like they gonna need to argue with me when this video comes out. But no, yeah, to the Undertaker, it's like I'm still gonna look at him as the Undertaker. When he shows up, I think he's always going to get people to cheer for him unless he goes out on TV or goes out somewhere and says something extremely crazy. But other than that, yeah, it's like we still gonna look at you as the Undertaker. It's definitely one of those things though where it's like, I guess as we are overall, like, like watching you doing whatever it is that you're doing, it's still gonna be lingering in the back of our minds, like, dang man, Undertaker, outside of this Undertaker persona and stuff, he is a Trump supporter. I'm like, I don't know, I guess, like, maybe the world might go back to normal once when Trump is out of office and stuff. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.